Hello there, this is Retro Spirits Garden presenting Street Fighter Zero. This is on the Sega Saturn. You may know this game as Street Fighter Alpha. This is the original version of Street Fighter Alpha. This is Sega Saturn dashboard. I'm playing the Japanese version on a Japanese Saturn, and it's going into a FrameMeister Sega, going into an HD capture device through RGB, and it's coming into your eyes via the internet. This is another versus fighting game on the Saturn. The Saturn is home to literally 37,000 billion fighting games, of which this is one, by Capcom again. We've got some logos flashing up and down. Bit of intro, look at that. Cast of characters that you kind of half recognise if you're not really a Street Fighter aficionado. I think one of those was from Final Fight, one of those was from the original Street Fighter. We've got Bison's back with his massive chin, and we've got Rose. I don't know where Rose comes from. Rose is from I don't know. She's from she was a pilot in 1942. There we go. I've made something up. I don't know if Rose is a new character or whether she's from an old game. But you have got Birdie in here. He's from the original Street Fighter. You've got Sodom from Final Fight, and you have, who else have you got? You've got Chun-Li. You got Sagat. You have got Guy from Final Fight. You have got Cody. Cody's from Street Fighter Alpha. You've got Addon. He's from Street Fighter, the original one, I think. So yeah, Capcom has kind of trawled the old back catalogue for the character roster, which is nice. It differentiates it a bit from Street Fighter 2 and also Street Fighter 3. Birdie is a badass. I do like Birdie in this game. It's one of my go-to characters. Ken has cheeky little forward roll move there, which you can combo into his super special move, which is my preferred finisher. His little forward roll does sort of go through some attacks, which is nice. I get the feeling that this first version, Street Fighter Zero or Street Fighter Alpha, was a cheap game for Capcom. I think this was a bit of a risky game, and they didn't spend a huge amount of money on it. The backgrounds, for instance, are very limited. You don't get a huge variety of backgrounds. You get the same background in different colours, but that's about it. There's maybe 6 backgrounds in the whole game. I don't know that for a fact, I'm guessing there. But I know that you get this one, you get the rail yard, you get, let me think, you get a special one for Sagat, I believe. You get, oh Christ, you get one outside some shops. Yeah, so there's not a huge amount of variety. The combo system is pretty easy on this game. You just sort of tap all the buttons in order. That's nice. Music's good. And they had to cut money somewhere, because I think this is probably a risky venture for them, whether it be successful or not. And it's mainly on the backgrounds. I mean, like I said, this is a recolor of the previous background, isn't it? Like I said, I don't know where Rose comes from. She hits you with a scarf and likes to fight in high heels. So she must be double hard. She can deflect your fireballs back at you, batting them away like they're nothing. Some cats in the background there. Their background animation budget was incredibly slight. I'm not sure what came first, whether it was Darkstalkers or this, but they share a very similar graphical style. So one obviously influenced the other. Darkstalkers is a beautiful looking game. This is a nice looking game. Not as good as Darkstalkers, but a nice looking game. I think I do kind of prefer the character graphics to standard Street Fighter 2. And I don't know whether that's sacrilege or not. But the backgrounds, in this game particularly, I'm not sure they match the foreground sprites so well. It's certainly not as good a match as, say, X-Men vs Street Fighter, which has the same character graphics. The backgrounds in that seem to be which is a lot closer to the sprite art in terms of the way that they're drawn. These ones have a sort of semi-photographic look to them, which is a bit odd. Yeah, this game is around £15 English, and it has a horrible front cover, but I would say you'd get 15 quid's worth of fun out of it, unless you want something a bit more complicated. Like the sequels added lots of extra special moves and isms, and you could do custom combos in the second one. But this is really pared down in comparison to those games. It doesn't make it worse. I think probably Street Fighter Alpha 2, 02 is the sweet spot. But this is good. This is good for 15 quid. 02 is 15 to 20 quid. 03 on the Saturn, anyway, is getting on for 200 quid, which is a lot of money for a game. And as a consequence, I have not played the Saturn version ever. I have played this Street Fighter Alpha 3 on the Dreamcast, and it was alright. And I played it on the PlayStation, and it was alright. I think 02 was my favourite. The 02 that came with the Street Fighter collection. That was my favourite one. So yeah, it's a quality fighting game. You can get it on a PlayStation. I think the PlayStation version is about the same amount of money. This looks and sounds, as far as I can remember, almost exactly the same as this. So that's fine. There's no RAM cards required for this. There's no extra gubbins you need to do. 15 quid. Bosh, there you go, Street Fighter Alpha. Or 0, whichever, area of the world you're from. Don't know if this got a PAL release. I don't know a lot about this game outside of the Japanese version I'm playing right here. I did play the PlayStation version of this back in the day, like back in 1995. I remember it being okay, but that was... Jesus, that was 25 years ago. So, is that 25 years? Fuck it, it was 25 years ago. Jesus. Sorry, that's just shocked me. 1995 was 25 years ago. Crikey. Got the Great Wall of China in the background here. It uses 6 colours and they're all brown. Well done, background artist. Yeah, they did. They kind of cheaped out on the old backgrounds, unfortunately. But still, it is a fun game. The second version, Street Fighter Alpha, Street Fighter 02, has a larger selection of backgrounds, which all have more interest in them than these ones. So maybe if you're a bit of a background tourist, you'll get that one instead. I seem to be ripping through the cast of characters here relatively easily. Not that I've played this game for years, but I've remembered the old forward roll into super combo, which helps. Guy looks cool here. Never got on with Guy as a character in this game. He's a bit too floaty jumpy. Ken is just a destruction machine. Do like Birdie, and I like Sodom in this. Unfortunately no Zangief in this game, who's my usual go-to Street Fighter 2 character. But yeah, we have got Birdie, he's a heavy hitter. He's got a charge move and a 360 degree command throw. You've got Cody, who's more or less Guile. So all your archetypes are here. No Blanca, no E-Honda. Do have Sagat though, and you've got your Chun-Li's. Sodom's a bit like Birdie, I guess. Similar sort of moveset. Add-on is a bit like Joe Higashi from The King of Fighters. He's a bit of an outlier really in the cast. Who else have we got? I'm just trying to think who else I've beaten. Rose is a weird character. She's a bit... I don't know. I don't know how you would describe her really. She's a bit more like, to use, a bit more like that character from Darkstalkers with the gong. Was it Lele? She's a bit like that. So yeah, they took a few gambles with the roster, which is nice. So how many different backgrounds have we seen so far? I think we've seen 5. This is the 5th one. Yeah, not a great amount of variety. Has this one got line scrolling on the floor? Poor old add-on is getting 7 shades kicked out of him. Yeah, this one might have line scrolling on it, which is unusual. No, I don't think it has it? Anyway, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's a fine game for 15 quid. You can't go wrong in the Saturn. With Capcom, I think everything they did was fantastic, apart from maybe Final Fight, whatever it was called, Final Fight. What was it? The 3D fighting game. I can't remember what it's called. But even that's like 260 quid or something now. Don't bother with that. Yeah, it was a rubbish 3D fighting game. Don't bother. What was that game called? Final Fight? It's called Final Fight, wasn't it? I don't know. Oh look, we've got a recolour of the same background. And that's all good. That's not perspective on the statue in the background, that's just a statue with really big feet. That's what it looks like anyway. It looks like the legs aren't drawn in perspective. Very strange. It's going to bug me now, I can't remember the name of that Final Fight game. Because I bought that back in the day. I bought that when it first came out, and I remember I was really disappointed with it. And traded it right back in. And then, if only I'd have kept hold of it for 20 years, I could have at least quadrupled the money I spent on it. What was that game called? It was crap anyway. I got my Saturn switched, and I bought that game in 1999 because I love Final Fight, and I was so disappointed you would not believe. But anyway, that's by the by. We're looking at Street Fighter Alpha, and Sega is potentially going to be kicking my ass here. He looks like he's a bit tasty. Didn't like being thrown though, did he, eh? Oh, look at that. Look at that combo. Beautiful. Yeah, I'm making the computer look like a fool here. It's probably on that really easy difficulty. But hey, that's between you and me. I do like the presentation on this. I like the old Z flying in and out. Oh, I've got to fight review last. It's in front of a shop again. So literally 5 backgrounds. There you go. Same shop. Alright, well, this guy's going to kick my ass, and I'm going to go. So, see you on the next video, and ta-ra. This is recommended. I mean, it's 15 quid. It's Street Fighter Alpha. Yeah. Bye.
You lose. Round 2. Fight! You win. Round 3. Fight! Hadouken! 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 You lose. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.